data, we're going to start on the GO-BGC homepage and navigate over to Outreach and choose Adoptafloat. We're going to scroll down through all of our general information about what a float is and how they work, and get down to how to access data. Once we're here, we're going to choose the Adopted Floats table. And this is going to give us a list of all of the deployed floats and the school names and the float names and just some general information about where the float is. What we're really looking for here is our WMO number, which is the float profile number that will give us a link to our float data. So I'm going to choose this one and just click on that WMO number, which will bring me directly to my data page. Up here, we just have some general float information. And on the right with this map, we get to see exactly the path that our float is following. And each one of these dots, it shows the data collection points. And then if we zoom out a little bit, we can see the exact location. So like I said, each one of those points gives us where data is being collected, which we can see here in this profile data. So if I click on one, which is our first point, I'll get the data from that one specific data point. And then if I just keep scrolling down here to these colorful graphs, you'll be seeing the data from the entire float. And up on the top here, it gives us the dates that we're getting it from, as well as what data we are specifically collecting. So if we go back, the interactive float map and 3D float visualization just give us more of the location of the float and how it relates to other floats. So now we're going to go to the Explore Float data, which is when we get to manipulate a little bit more and choose what we want to look at. So over here in this column, we're going to select our float, which it has our school name and the float name that we chose. So I'm going to use the same example I used last time. And then we're going to go to the next box and choose one X variable for our graph. So for this one, I'm going to use temperature. Then we're going to select a Y variable, which I'm going to use depth. And over here on the right are some things that we can manipulate, which I'm not going to because they're all set already. But if you want to play around with those, you're welcome to, as well as this on the left-hand side with what type of data we're using, if we're using all of it or only the good data, and which dates you want to use. Once you've changed everything to the settings you want, you can go over here on the left-hand side and press send, which will bring us to a new tab with our graph. So if we look at this one, we can clearly see that there is a trend here, and it shows us that at the higher temperatures, we're closer to the surface with the shallower waters. So I'm going to go back, and this time for my graph, I'm going to do the opposite variable. So I'm going to choose depth as my X and temperature as my Y and leave everything else the same and press send again. So here we'll be able to see it's the same data set, but just graphed in a little different way. So I'm going to go back and show you the difference in the graphs, even though they're the same numbers. So if you have any questions, please reach out with our email info@go-bgc.org. We hope you enjoy looking at your float data.